Hey there, handy friends. I'm really excited to show you today. I got my Cleavers crown on and I'm going to tell you all about Cleavers because they're so fun, so healthy, and so detoxing. So stick with me and I'll tell you all about them. And we're going to make a tincture today with vodka. Weeks ago I decided to use the Cleavers I had growing that I saw in abundance and make a tincture. Didn't really have time to make a video, but now I want to go back and identify Cleavers with you and really talk about them, how they grow, and how to identify them in the wild. So Cleavers are really known to stick, as you can see. They're sticking to me, even though it's just my skin, but they really stick to your clothes. And my son, he really likes to throw these on me. They're also known as hitchhikers. And then later in the season, you can identify them a little bit more because they start to get these what are called fruits, which a lot of people just call them burrs. And basically what those are is a seed pod, and that's how they spread. So these can be quite invasive, but they're really easy to pick, so no need to worry about that part. But identifying is the leaves get about 6 to 8 individual leaves that are shaped kind of like a star, as you can see. And then see, I've kind of got it round. The plants can grow quite tall, like 2 to 4 feet. And then as the plant matures, it gets the fruits. And it also does have tiny little star-shaped flowers that, there we go. They're kind of whitish green, the flowers. And when you are using or want to use Cleavers medicinally, you want to pick them before the fruits arise. So that's going to be like an early spring. So I'm going to go ahead and show you a little bit more patches of Cleavers and kind of like what they can look like in our yard at our homestead. And then we're going to make a tincture today. Cleavers are a natural diuretic. They also promote potassium to get put back into your system, which is really amazing. Cleavers are really good at flushing out toxins. They're also really good for kidney and liver health. As Cleavers age, they start to get this powdery mildew on them. At this point, you definitely don't want to use them for any medicinal reasons. So make sure that when you're using your Cleavers, to collect them early in spring. And you want them bright green before the fruits start. Alright, welcome back to my workshop. I'm going to show you really simple how to make this Cleavers tincture. And I am, like I said, I'm using these Cleavers that are a little bit overripe. I suggest using Cleavers without the fruits on them. So early spring, it is June here down in southwest Michigan. So the first thing I'm going to do is cut my Cleavers up into little pieces, say about 1 centimeter big. The smaller you chop them up, the more medicinal properties that they're going to release. So I like to keep them chopped pretty small. And you want to be careful. This was my Cleavers wreath that I made for my hair, so I do have a clover in here. And just remember, stuff can stick to the Cleavers really well. You don't want to end up with anything bad like poison ivy or anything like that in your Cleavers tea, tincture, or whatever it is that you're using these for. Most people don't really like to eat Cleavers raw because they do stick to you, so they will stick to your tongue. It's not very palatable. So that being said, you can dry them and use them for tea. They're not as sticky then. A lot of people will cook them down. There's a lot of different recipes, different things you can do with them, or you can make this tincture, this great tincture. So I have my empty jar here. This is a pint jar, and back here I have my pint of Grey Goose. And now you want to use 80 proof vodka or higher. I prefer Grey Goose. Obviously it's expensive, it's really good vodka, but also it's gluten-free. I'm gluten-free, so that works out for me. And gotta be really careful with that gluten. And then I'm gonna fill this jar with these chopped cleavers about 3/4 of the way full. And then I'm going to, I got a big chunk in there, no big deal. So don't pack it down very much. You want to like kind of have air in between. And then, now this is a reenactment just to show you what I did, because I'm showing you the entirety of how to make a tincture, right? So, you got your jar full, 3/4 away with your cleavers. And then you're going to go ahead and pour your vodka in. And it's perfect. So it's a pint and a pint, and even though I have cleavers in there, it equals. So you don't want to have a lot of air in there. So even just a little more vodka, a little more vodka would have been great, because the air can really like taint your tincture. So the less air, the better. And you want the vodka to be about 1 inch over the top of your 3/4 of cleavers, which it was, and it kind of rose up a little bit, so it doesn't really look like the vodka's 1 inch above, but it is. And then as you can see here, I have these plastic lids that I got. You can get these on Amazon, you can get them at Walmart. They will not corrode. So the vodka will corrode your ball, jar, mason lids. So you don't want to use those metal lids with your tincture making. Sometimes what people do is, I don't know if you have any of this parchment paper, you can use that, wax paper, and you can actually put a piece of that down before you put the ring on. If you only have rings and you don't have these plastic tops, you can do it that way. And the parchment baking paper will keep your lid from corroding. So anytime you're working with vinegar or vodka, anything acidic like that, you don't want to use those metal lids. So these plastic ones come in really handy when you're making tinctures. Again, this is water and a reenactment, because these cleavers are well past ripe. But I'm going to go ahead and show you the full process of the tincture making. So this is cheesecloth, and I use this sometimes mainly when my herb that I'm working with is a little bit bigger and it won't go through the holes of this. So this is a commonly used item that I keep around. And I've got basically my bowl that I'm gonna put my tincture in. And so I've got my cheesecloth and my sieve, which is just a strainer. So I'm gonna put my cheesecloth over. And now I have been storing this. This is my actual Cleavers Tincture, and this has been stored in a cool, dark place for 4 weeks, and I've been shaking it up about twice a week. Maybe I might have missed a few times, but shaking it up about twice a week. And so this is my actual tincture that I made, and then this is how you strain it. So you're gonna make yours, and then you're gonna leave yours in a cool, dark place for around 4 weeks, and then you're gonna shake it up about twice a week, and then 4 weeks later it's gonna be like this, and you can see the difference. Even though this isn't vodka, this is how it started. Like, it just looked like it was water, clear, but now you can see the color of that. So I'm basically using this cheesecloth to help me strain out. It's helping me strain out the leaves, the plant matter that I got. So, very simple process. Set that back there. So I'll let this drip for quite a while, because, you know, the more it drips, the more of your vodka you're getting out. Now, you don't want to squeeze this, because you don't want to, you kind of want your tincture to stay clear. So whenever you're working with herbs, if you give it a squeeze, you can get cloudiness, and you might get some things in there that you just don't really want. So I'm going to go ahead and let it drip. But when I'm done, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make my tincture and put it, or I'm going to have my tincture in this amber bottle. So let me set this hopefully here. Oop. Set this down here while I show you. So that's the actual color of the tincture, and I'm going to store my tincture in this amber bottle. These amber bottles they're hard to find, but they are also, and I could use a smaller funnel here, they are also very handy when you're doing stuff like this, because that's going to keep the light out and help keep this tincture last. It'll be gone by then. The reason why I'm making this tincture is because I've been having problems with my lymph nodes. They're a little bit swollen, and so these cleavers are supposed to be really good for that. I'm hoping that this tincture can help me to alleviate some of that, and I'm going to be taking about 2 to 3 milliliters of this around 3 times a day, 2 to 3 times a day for 2 weeks, and hopefully maybe I'll feel a little bit better. These cleavers can help me really flush out the toxins, and I'm just going to store this in a cool, dark place as well. And I have a little bit extra left over. I have another amber bottle in the back, but this is my Cleavers Tincture, and I'm going to go ahead and let this drip, and I call this a slow drip. My family's familiar with that, and what that means is this is going to take a while for the cleavers to dry and everything to kind of drip out of there. And so while that's happening, so a few hours, I can come back tomorrow if I want, I'm going to cover this up so I don't get any dust particles or anything in there, and I'm going to let that go ahead and drip, and then what's left in this bowl I'll pour in another amber container and use that first. Since it's a little bit less, I'll save this full one for the second use. But that is how you make tincture, and it's pretty simple. Use good vodka, pay for it, go the extra bit. I do like Tito's, but for gluten-free people, I really suggest that you just pay the extra and get that really high class of vodka. And also, if you don't have an amber bottle, you can cover this in black paper or make sure you're storing in a really dark, cool place. And this will last for around 6 months to a year, sometimes even longer. But like I said, that'll be gone before then. So if you like what you see and you like to work with herbs, make sure you subscribe to my channel, because I'm going to show you more videos just like this, and we're going to be making a lot of good stuff on my channel. So subscribe, give me that thumbs up if you like this video, and stay handy.